Hi, good evening everyone. How are you? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing good too. Before we start today's vlog, let me show you something. Do you like this painting? How about this painting? Do you want to know where I learned to paint like this? Do you want to know the name of my teacher and the contact details? Well, many of you all have asked me. So today, at the end of this video, I will share with you the details of my teacher who taught me how to paint like this. Now, let's get back into the video. Today, we are going to dive into a very thought-provoking topic about our conventional education system, whether learning in schools and colleges are more effective and important. In fact, some of the most eminent personalities, successful people and influential people have mastered their skills and crafts without the conventional education system. Our schools and colleges for centuries have taught that if you are studying in a school or college, if your education is complete there, then only can you succeed in life. But is that really true? Let's explore that a bit, shall we? Let's take the example of Elon Musk, one of the most influential masterminds behind Tesla and SpaceX. Elon dropped out of college from Stanford University and completed his learning not through any schools or colleges, but just by only reading books, interacting with people, and building a team of experts from where he has learned more about aerospace engineering and rocket science. Today, he is one of the most eminent, influential personalities in the world. Similarly, Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple, has dropped out of Reed College and completed his classes by auditing and learning about subjects which only has interested him. Richard Branson, the founder of Virgin Group, dropped out of school at the age of 16 because he had dyslexia, but he has focused on his creativity and embraced learnings through experience by real life examples. So learnings actually does not happen only in schools and colleges. You can learn without even getting into an educational institution. Schools and colleges fail to teach how to really solve problems in the real world scenario. Let's say, for example, you want to paint. You want to learn how to paint. You get into an institute where they teach you art, an art college or something. So the first thing they would do is teach you colors, what are the basic colors, what is a color wheel, how you can identify colors, how you can mix colors, what are brushes. There'll be separate course on brushes, paper quality, human figures, sketches, still life, how to draw landscapes, animals, etc. But with all these courses, you're taking a long time to learn and you're learning from the perspective of the person who's teaching you. What if I just give you a pen and a paper and ask you to sketch whatever you see, or give you colors and ask you to paint whatever you feel? That is exactly how natural artists are created. If you see all the eminent artists like Van Gogh and Michelangelo and Da Vinci, most of them were not trained artists. They have learned through observing others. They have learned through books. They have learned through works of others, talking to other people, experimenting, wasting colors, redoing whatever they have made a mistake of, and learned that way. They have become much more eminent artists that way. So you cannot always get into schools and colleges to learn something. Schools and colleges are there, but their teaching mechanism might not always be correct. So do you really need expensive courses to get a job? Not necessarily. Everything that you want to learn is readily available, and that too for free. You basically have to go out, see, observe, talk to people, read books, and learn from there. So the question is there no value for college or schools? Of course there is a value. Schools and colleges teaches you how to discipline yourself, how to maintain time. They will give you homeworks which might seem annoying to you, but when you see another student being competitive and finishing their work within that time frame, you get into that mindset that I also need to do it. I also need to finish my work. At the same time, you get to mix with people, you develop social habits, you get to engage with students, you get to have fun, as well as also learn a little bit of discipline. Also, it provides some sort of a direction to you. But are they the only source for learning? If I have to speak from my personal experience, I studied law at my graduation. I aced the university by coming in first. But when it came to the field of practicing as a lawyer, I saw the people who could barely pass. They are doing pretty well. In fact, they are the ones acing the practice, whereas I could not even make it into the court. So this only shows that getting a formal education and acing that education in your institute doesn't necessarily mean you will be very successful at that particular field. Someone who might not have that kind of a formal education might have more knowledge about the subject that you do, even after having formal education, because that subject probably interests that person more. Let's take, for example, kids at your home. I mean, do you really have to ask them to take a course on how to play video games or how to operate a mobile? You see kids as small as 2 years of age or 3 years of age, toddlers basically, they are playing video games, they are operating iPads, but did they go through any course? No, because that is what interests them. And from that interest, there is an inclination to learn which they themselves taught them. And that is how they operate. In fact, they probably operate much more better than people who are going through these courses and learning. So some things cannot be taught. You need to grasp it on your own. Similarly, if we can gamify the education system, rather than creating strict courses and books and restricting students within a particular course curriculum, if we can gamify it, make it more interesting and engaging and more interactive, can you imagine the learning that these students might have? So why does our education system have to be so overwhelming as to force feed students all this course curriculum down their throat? I mean, teachers could be more engaging with students rather than coming to a class and giving a lecture on a subject which after a certain period of time they turn into robots, because they have been lecturing on that same topic year after year, and at a point in time they become so robotic that human connect between the teacher and the student is missing. So the student barely understands what the teacher says, and the teacher knows, okay, 1 hour I have to give this lecture, gives this lecture and moves out. So this is not a very perfect learning system. Teachers need to be more interactive with students. Do you remember those early years in your childhood when you had that one particular teacher whose class people would not want to miss? I mean, I had that. So people would come in early to attend his class or her class for that matter, and would stay late even after the class finished, so that they would want a little bit more of that teacher. Why is it so? Because the teacher could create that subject in such a way, so interesting, so lively, that the students automatically found interest in giving attention to that subject, wanting to learn more. And invariably, if you notice, that is the subject where students would actually score more higher than the rest of the other subjects. It is only because how the teachers have placed or modified this subject for the student. But unfortunately, teachers are now more like those robots coming and delivering lectures and then going away. So what is missing in this education system? So what is this education system all about? Education has become like, downloading a lot of reports and datas and algorithms into someone's brain. But that necessarily is not the case. I mean, it seems more like a chore to learn a formula than to actually find interest in learning. Do you know that a brain is created in such a way that it discards information which is irrelevant to us? So for example, if you are taught a formula and you are asked to mug that formula up without even realizing why you need to learn this formula, where you can apply this formula, what is the importance of learning this formula, how will you apply this formula, what is the result that you will get out of applying this formula, without knowing any of this, if you are just straight away asked to, mug a formula or maybe a table or something, I mean, you would not find it interesting, right? So students generally do that because they feel that they would be punished if they don't mug it up, if they don't remember, or if they cannot do it on the answer sheets. And this actually creates a cognitive dissonance, because what interests you and what you are asked to learn, these become two very different poles. So the basic thing is, schools should teach the why factor of everything. Why you are learning a subject. Half the times you will see students in a class absolutely sitting clueless, not knowing why they are going through this maths class or a science class or a geography class. Teachers here need to play a very pivotal role in making students understand why they are learning this subject. How is it going to be of value to them? How is it going to help them? Whether this really is going to be important to them. Teachers cannot give them some fictitious problems. They should give them a real life problem where they could actually tell the student that these are the subjects you can use to solve this problem. Maybe maths, physics, chemistry, biology, geography. Maybe these are the subjects you can use to actually solve this particular problem. That should be the work of the teacher, to create that why, how, what, where system. Unless that is created, students will be absolutely clueless why they are studying, and it would be just like another chore that they are forced to do. Another very important point is, educational system nowadays are not teaching students how to critically think and analyze a topic or a subject. I mean, let's say for example, if you're given some historical facts or some facts, any fact for that matter, or even maybe a formula, you are just asked to learn that formula and apply as is, or learn that history and apply as is. That whole area of thinking out of the box, or the critical thinking, or analyzing something to verify the truth of it is missing, because that is restricted by our educational system. Most of the cases, students are told, you do what we are asking you to do. You learn what we say is correct. But then they are stopping the scope for the student to actually go beyond it and analyze for themselves whether whatever they are learning, whether the matter is true or not, whether the facts are correct or not. Unless and until teachers teach this, students will never go and try to go beyond what they are learning to find out and verify whether that is correct or not. That whole critical thinking and analytical thinking will be completely missing. There are obviously good schools. I can't keep blaming schools and colleges. There are obviously very good schools. But again, I feel somewhere that the mistake that they are making is they are basically dumping a lot of subjects on these students. I mean, a student would have to go with a sack of books to school and learning in all one day maths, science, physics, chemistry, geography, history, and whatnot. Why don't you find out what interests the student? Do away with the grading system. I mean, the grading system does nothing but hinders the progress of students. Rather, create that system where the student feels so engaged and so entertained that they themselves would want to progress in that subject. They themselves would want to feel that I'm interested in this subject and I would learn this more faster. You'll see slowly, if the grading system is done away with, the progress will become much more faster. So now it boils down to the fact, is university education or college education or school education really that important? Well, if you ask me, there are plenty of students who are getting homeschooled. As in, they don't even go to schools and colleges. They are just being taught at home and they are doing just as well. In fact, some are doing even more better, because what they are doing is they are doing a lot of self-learning. Instead of running from one tuition to the other or going to one teacher or one class to the other, they are sitting home, concentrating, learning on their own. And the best way to learn is self-learn, self-taught. So are expensive courses and university degrees really important? Well, maybe to some it is important, because again, there are companies that would have a criteria that if you don't complete a minimum hour of education or a minimum years of education in an institute, we will not give you a job. So people who are going for these jobs, they need to get those degrees. But if you are an entrepreneurial mindset and if you want to start your own company, do you really need to waste that many years on education? Instead, you can start early, start the subject that interests you, start the work that interests you, and learn as you progress. Learn with every experience and mistake that you make. The point I'm trying to make here is, there's no point in studying all the subjects. I mean, for example, I studied science, geography, physics, maths, and a lot of subjects in school. Chemistry. How many times am I applying chemistry in my real life? Except for relationship chemistry, there is no other formulas that is working for me. Or how many times am I applying physics in real life? Except for those basic things, I don't think any physics formula is being applied. So there's no point in studying so many things unless it doesn't interest you. Maybe to an extent, students can study to find out whichever subject interests them, and then the school should make them focus on those subjects so that they can excel according to the interest that they have. Coming back to the question that I raised at the beginning of this video, who have taught me to paint like this? Well, I taught myself. I'm a self-taught artist, and it has not come in an overnight span. I have developed interest, I have made mistakes, I have seen others, I have spoken to people, I have experimented, I have made a lot of mistakes, waste and practices, and today I'm at a place where I'm doing professional exhibitions at different places. So the best person to teach you is yourself. And of course, the digital media is there with YouTube and the digital forum and online open courses. You can learn everything at your fingertips. So if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe. If you agree to what I said, you can comment here, add on to whatever I have said. If you disagree, please let me know where you are disagreeing, where I am going wrong, where you can state your point. And if you feel that I should make more videos like this, do let me know. Till then, see you in my next vlog. Thank you and bye.